Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Looking for change, looking for
How you
pain. Pulling a
doing?
mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane.
Finn
Pick up the
Pussy
pieces and go
Podcast.
rearrange. I'll be
Let
the
me
best,
guess,
but all
Michael
the rest
K
put me to the
made
test,
another
yeah.
account, huh?
Expect nothing less, you check as I'm chest. What's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon. No coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from planets of
fucking
blessing. New focus, no
clown.
guessing. Just bold an obsession. All in his possession. You got their attention. Now leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11. It's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way. What I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the beat.
What up? What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of Laces Out Live. I'm your host, Big C, and this is brought to you by Game Changers Media. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Y'all know the co-host, Michael Jones. What up, Mikey?
Thank you very much. How is everything going, man? What a weekend of football, man. It was a tough weekend. I was sick all weekend, so luckily I got to lay in bed, watch a lot of football. But damn, a lot of games that I did not see a lot of these coming. You did end up, you got me by one game this week in our picks. Even though we still got tomorrow's game, but we both picked the Ravens, so we're gonna be evened up after this week, buddy.
Yes, sir. Man, I had a tough week with the bets, man. CD Lamb cost me $1,200 last night getting hurt. I only needed him to have 60 yards receiving. You know what I mean? One of the top receivers in the league needed 60 yards receiving to get there, and he gets hurt. One of the first plays of the game last night. Tragic. It just seems to always happen to me. I always be this close, but it is what it is. Listen, you guys played very good against Kansas City last night. I mean, you kept it close. You kept it close. Defensively. We'll get to that. But yeah, another wild weekend of football. Absolutely crazy endings this weekend. We've seen a lot of block kicks at the end of games, which, you know, I always thought block kicks were like this miracle thing, and we're seeing them happen
A lot
more on a regular basis. You know what I mean? Like,
I was watching two games simultaneously, and literally they were both kicking game winners at the end, and both of them were blocked at the end. Like, you just don't see that. Like, it was insane. It was insane.
The Jets almost pull off the offside against Tampa, but Tampa's able to drive down the field and kick a game-winning field goal. Just some crazy endings this weekend. Football is back. It has been great so far. obviously, I wish that, the Miami Dolphins, and I wish that your New York Giants were in better situations. But, as far as football in general, it's been outstanding so far. Outstanding so far. But let's get into it. Overreaction Monday. We'll see. We'll talk about some of the highs and lows of this past weekend, and whether something's a hot take or whether it's an overreaction, because a lot of people talk about, the season's over already. It's week 3. It's week
Right.
3 just passing. We're just completing week 3. There's still a lot of football to be played, so people you got to calm down. You can't jump out the window, and let's get into it.
Let's get into it. All right. Let's get into the first one. The Texans should really start planning to move on from CJ. I like this one.
I think this is a complete overreaction. This is this kid's 3rd year. He had a fantastic first year, right? And I'm not a big CJ Stroud fan. So I'm not being a fanboy by any sense of the imagination. But the kid's this is his 3rd season. 2 out of the 3 seasons, he's had an absolutely horrible offensive line. I'm pretty sure the Texans' offensive line right now is graded out as the worst offensive line in football through 3 games so far. He's got a career record of 19-15, which is a winning record. Mm-hmm. His career stats: 8,434 yards, 45 touchdowns, 20 interceptions, 92.4 passer rating. How do you move on from that? He's not the issue with this football team, in my opinion. Could he play better? Sure. Everybody could play better. But the real problem with this football team is the offensive line. They are terrible up front. And it's hard to be a good quarterback when your offensive line is so bad. So bad. So
I can respect that.
I think it's an overreaction. I think you could build up front, and this kid can win you football games.
Okay. I can see that. I get the offensive line. I can totally get with that, as a Giants fan. So I can feel you. It's tough though. You just expect so much. You expect so much from people sometimes, and it just never manifests itself. So you kind of like, what the hell? Especially, it's hard for me, especially being a Giants fan. So it's like I'm always trying to be positive, but it's hard not to go into the negative about these quarterbacks, especially. All right.
Well, I mean, if your quarterback's got a winning record and he's doubled his touchdowns or double his interceptions, and he's got a 90-some passer rating, like how do you move on from that? I think people take quarterbacks for granted. There's only a couple great ones. There's only a couple of great ones in the league. Everybody else is, you can compete with them. You can compete with them with a very good quarterback. You're going to compete with most teams in this league.
Right.
So how do you move on from a good quarterback?
Fair enough. All right. Oh, did I really just do that again? Seahawks made the right choice with Darnold over Geno.
Listen, I think so. And I'm not a Sam Darnold guy. He's not my guy. Geno Smith is not my guy. Both quarterbacks were selected early by the New York Jets. Sam Darnold in the 1st round, Geno in the 2nd. So I have no love for either one of these guys. Once a Jet, always a Jet, in my opinion. So screw them, both of them.
Goddamn.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks made the right move. Geno Smith is 34 years old. Sam Darnold's 28. Geno Smith's career, he's 41-45 as a starter, 1-2 in the playoffs. He's thrown for 19,174 yards in his career, 109 touchdowns, 76 interceptions, has a rating of 87.9. Sam Darnold has He's 37 and 39 as a starter, so the winning percentage is close.
Mhm.
17,446 yard or 17,046 passing yards, 102 touchdowns, 70 interceptions. So the numbers are very similar, except Sam Darnold's 6 years younger. So in 6 less years, Sam Darnold has produced what Geno has in his career. Also, Geno's making about $4 million more per year than Sam Darnold. So, I mean, Sam Darnold has more potential, in my opinion. He's put up better not better stats, but he's put up the same amount of stats, the same amount of touchdown production in 6 fewer seasons. So, I mean, I don't think it's a huge upgrade, but I think Sam Darnold is an upgrade over Geno Smith, no matter how slight it is, just for the simple fact he's younger. And yeah. Michael K. Sorry, Mike. Joe, I've eliminated Michael K from this group. He brings nothing positive to the group. He just constantly talking. Like, you know,
we didn't even start the show yet, and he was already in the chat clowning, made a new name.
Foremost, you got an issue with me. I was right in Buffalo. You know what I mean? I was in Buffalo. I said, come see me. He knew where I was at. And again, like, nothing against this guy. I've talked to him on the phone. He seems like he's a really good guy, but I come here to enjoy my time, and he makes it unenjoyable for me. He really does. So it is what it is. I don't want to have to eliminate anybody from the group. You know what I mean? I'm not going to eliminate you if you disagree with me. Absolutely not. You know what I mean? I encourage disagreement, but there's a difference between just running your damn mouth like a, you know what I mean? So if you guys feel some type of way, I apologize, but it was no longer becoming fun for me.
I feel that. We crowned the Packers too early, and Sunday is really who they are.
I think that's an overreaction. I mean, maybe we did give the Packers, we put them too high on a pedestal, but I think this is a really good football team. I think they're going to be competing for the Super Bowl at the end of the year. I wouldn't say they're the favorites out in the NFC, but I think they'll be there. I think they'll be competing with the Eagles, the Lions, the Rams. I think Tampa Bay. I think they'll be one of those teams that has an opportunity when it's all said and done. I just think they ran into a really good defense in Cleveland, who kept them in the game, kept them good, kept them close, and Cleveland was able to pull it out. Jordan Love is going to have games like this. They don't really have any stud receivers. I like Matthew Golden a lot. I like Josh Jacobs at running back, but they don't got no superstars at the wide receiver position. Green Bay has been notorious for not bringing in stars to help out their quarterbacks. I would love to see them make a trade for a top of the line wide receiver. Maybe if Tyreek Hill becomes available, that would be huge for Jordan Love and this Green Bay Packers team. But Cleveland's defense is nasty. And if they could just get some good quarterback play, if Joe Flacco could stop turning over the football, maybe it's time to see what Shador's got. Maybe it's time to see what Dylan Gabriel's got. I never understood why they brought Joe Flacco back to this team. I don't think they had high expectations for the season. So Joe Flacco, he's just a waste in my opinion. Put Dylan Gabriel in there. Put Shador Sanders in there. See what they got. I don't think they can be very much worse than what Joe Flacco's giving you. But no, I don't think that the Packers – I think the Packers are a good football team, and I think the Packers will overcome this. They just ran into a tough defense on the road, and, you're going to have Sundays like this.
Yeah. Fair enough. I agree. I agree, but I also agree with you. I don't understand the whole Flacco thing. You got Shador, and what was the other guy's name? I can't remember.
Dillon Gabriel.
Dillon Gabriel. He was pretty good,
It was
wasn't
kind
he?
of like he's at Oregon. He's a lot of people compare him to Tua. He's undersized but very accurate. Throws the ball with good anticipation, or a spot thrower, whatever you want to call it. But you know,
Right.
Deshaun Watson's still hurt, Raphael, I think.
I mean, I'd like to see what Shador can do. Honestly, can't be any worse than Flacco. Flacco's old. He can't move.
Raphael, I think they got rid of Kenny Pickett. I think they traded him.
Yeah. The Bears will finish top 2 in the NFC North.
Overreaction. Again, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Detroit Lions. I think both those teams are considerably better than the Chicago Bears. Although, was this the coming out party for Caleb Williams last night? He looked phenomenal. Ben Johnson's offense finally getting going. This is the reason they brought Ben Johnson over to the Chicago Bears to work with Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, listen, if he can just get out of his own way, I think it's a mental blockage right now, but he throws the ball. It's just a thing of beauty. The way he throws the ball, his release is something special. This kid's got the tools to be a great quarterback. Ben Johnson, we've seen the success he's had with the Detroit Lions as an offensive coordinator. This Bears offense can be really, really special. They beat up on the Dallas Cowboys last night. Hopefully Caleb Williams can turn this into not just a single game performance, but put on a little, get into a little bit of a rhythm and give us performances like this on a weekly basis. But I still don't think the Chicago Bears are ready to compete with the Detroit Lions or the Green Bay Packers on a consistent basis. I think those teams are two of the better teams in the NFC. And then you still got the Vikings too, which, that Vikings defense yesterday looked super special. So
Sure did.
I think this year is going to be tough for the Bears. I don't see them finishing in the top 2.
Yeah, I'd have to go with that too. It's like I think what that game actually did show was how bad Dallas's defense actually is. We went into Dallas and Russ put up 450 yards, the second most he's ever put up. And then the Chicago Bears, they go off on them. And the only difference is Chicago made plays on defense, and we couldn't make plays on defense that week. So I think this game actually says more about the Dallas defense than it does the Chicago Bears, to be honest. All right.
And I'd love to see, make sure you guys are in the comments answering the questions too, because I'd love to see what you say. And Anthony, you make a good point. Teams are probably intimidated and don't want to hear Dion calling them up and telling them how they use his son. You know what I mean? And, maybe coaches are also nervous about the fact that Dion is a coaching candidate that, to be honest, most NFL teams would probably like to bring in Deion Sanders as their head coach, if only to sell tickets, because Dion as your head coach is it's gonna be newsworthy. It's gonna sell tickets. It's gonna, put butts in the seats.
Booties. The Colts are a top 5 team, and Jones is an MVP candidate.
Hold on one second.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all right. I'm doing my podcast. The Colts are a top 5 team, and Daniel Jones is an MVP candidate. I mean, this isn't an overreaction right now. At this point, it's not an overreaction. The Indianapolis Colts have been fantastic. Do you know the Indianapolis Colts have? You know how many times they've punted this year?
I'm guessing 1 or 0.
Once.
That's
In 3 games, the
insane.
Indianapolis Colts have punted once.
That's insane. That's pretty good.
This team is 3-0. The competition, you can argue about that. They haven't beat any great teams. So I mean, Denver's a really good team, a playoff team from a year ago, though. I think the Colts are legit. As far as Daniel Jones, an MVP candidate, listen, if this was the NFL 10 years ago, yeah, Daniel Jones would be a MVP candidate all day, right? But this day and age, there's only two real candidates, and that's Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. The things they can do on the ground just separate them from everyone else, and it's unfair. They're such great athletes, it makes it unfair. And to be honest, unless someone can match their athletic ability and be able to run the football like Josh Allen and like Lamar Jackson, those are going to be your two MVP front runners for the next 4 or 5 years, probably. I mean, Jalen Hurts, if Jalen Hurts could throw the ball a little bit better, throw the ball more often, I mean, you could probably put Jalen Hurts up there. Jaden Daniels, maybe eventually. What other quarterbacks had that running ability? I mean, there's a couple that had the running ability, they just don't run it
Right.
as high a clip as Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But yeah, I mean, that second tier of quarter players, yeah, I mean, if there was a junior MVP, yeah, he'd be up for it. You know what I mean?
A junior MVP. I mean, yeah, I get it. It just sucks because sometimes you think of MVP and you're thinking does it really have to be all based on stats? And I think that's where the award is kind of messed up, because you do notice that a lot of times it's going to people with incredible stats, which isn't wrong. I won't knock them for it. But sometimes I like to also think that your most valuable player, say Daniel Jones and the Colts have only 2 losses in the regular season, and Daniel Jones is the guy they brought in. He has a good year. He has really good numbers that are positive. How do you interpret that from, okay, so what? Lamar Jackson had this many rushing yards on top of 4,500 passing yards and these touchdowns, but they lost 5 games or something like that. And then you would have Daniel Jones come in, maybe lose only 2 games, maybe only throw 1 or 2 picks, have a decent amount of touchdowns and 4,200, 4,500 yards. I don't know. I fight with the MVP thing because in my opinion, I really believe that, most valuable player is supposed to be the most valuable player on your team. And with Lamar Jackson, yeah, he still gets amazing numbers, but he also has a lot of good people around him too. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the wall.
The thing is, I mean, if the Bills were to win 10 games per se, and the same thing with the Ravens, and let's say the Colts won 15, I think that evens it out. So maybe he would have an opportunity if his passing stats were better. Right. But what the hell is this?
What?
Someone dropped a whole bunch of NFL streaming.
Oh no. Yeah, what is that?
But yeah, I think that might even it out. People threw in the name Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert can run the ball really efficiently. He runs the ball a lot. I don't think Justin Herbert is the passer. He's got a strong arm, don't get me wrong. But I think if Justin Herbert throws the ball more, he's going to turn the ball over at a higher clip. So Justin Herbert's been great through 3 weeks. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely in the conversation as of right now. But I think if he has to throw the ball more, Justin Herbert will turn the ball over at a higher clip than Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. I just don't. Right. I don't trust Justin Herbert quite as much as Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. But Justin Herbert has all the tools to compete for a MVP. So he's definitely one of those quarterbacks that I would add to the list along with Jalen Hurts, Jaden Daniels, those type of quarterbacks. But if the win-loss record is considerably different, then yeah, that might propel a guy that has maybe doesn't have the stats on the ground. And Daniel Jones can run the football too.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Jones, I mean, he's not Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but I mean, he's mobile enough that he can go and make plays with his legs and maybe add a couple rushing touchdowns to go along with his passing stats. So, I mean, I think he's in the conversation right now. I just think at the end of the year,
It would take a lot.
It'll be Lamar and Josh. Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. There you go. We just talked about Herbert MVP front runner after 3 weeks. Look at that.
Absolutely. So far, I mean, I don't know what up, JD. I don't know what his stats are. So as of right now, let me check it out. Justin Herbert's stats this season.
Yeah, we'll have to do our picks
stats this season.
We'll have to do our picks for like who we think's player of the season so far and defensive player and all that stuff like we did last year, probably week 4 or so.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Justin Herbert's got 860 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, 105 passer rating. Let me see what his rushing stats are. Those are great numbers, but they're not overwhelming. 6 touchdowns is 2 a game. I mean, that's good. It's not great. You know what I mean? Running the ball, he's got 18 carries for 69 yards. Again, nothing crazy. But if you put it against someone like, let's take a look at Lamar Jackson's stats this season. Lamar Jackson stats. Lamar Jackson. He's got 434 yards, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he's only played 2 games, and Justin Herbert's played 3. 136 rating, where Justin Herbert only had 105. And then his running, he's got 83 yards and a touchdown, and he's still got a game to play. So all his stats across the board are better. And by the time you get to the end of the season, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're just going to be considerably better than Herbert. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's got half the yards, Raphael, but he hasn't played today. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Herbert's going to have 800 yards. Maybe Jackson has 600, but I mean, he's going to probably have 8 touchdowns, maybe no interceptions, over 100 yards rushing, maybe 2 rushing touchdowns. I mean, 400 passing yards better than 8. Yeah, but he's still got 1 game, Raphael. He's still got 1 more game.
Yep.
But yeah, Herbert's definitely in the conversation right now. I just
don't want to jump the gun.
Well, it's not that. I just think be able to keep up.
Yeah. The Bengals season is toast.
This isn't an overreaction whatsoever. I mean, the Bengals, they're 6-8 without Joe Burrow. This defense is not good. Their backup quarterback yesterday was horrible. Browning was horrible. He wasn't great the week before, even though they pulled off the win. He had 3 turnovers last week. No, Herbert didn't win. He didn't win no national championships. Octane. He went to Oregon. He didn't win. Oregon didn't win no national championships. Yeah, but the Bengals season's over. It's a wrap for them. You know, we went into the season talking about if the Bengals were going to have a successful season, they were going to have to put up a bunch of points. I don't think they're capable of that with Browning. He's not. You know, we were talking about Joe Burrow in this team putting up 30, 35 points, 40 points a game. Browning's not Joe Burrow. This season's a wrap. By the time they're talking 8 weeks minimum for Joe Burrow, at that point, the Bengals, they're going to be out of it. I think Joe Burrow probably doesn't even return this season. Maybe the Bengals try to make a move for a quarterback. Kirk Cousins possibly is a name out there. I don't know how that contract would work because Kirk Cousins getting paid a pretty penny. Who else is a possibility?
I think Russell Wilson would be a possibility. If the Giants decide to start Dart, I don't think they're going to go back, because I think if they start Dart, I think they're going to have Jameis be the backup. I just don't think you go back to a Russell Wilson if you bench him. So I think Russell Wilson would have a good opportunity to go to the Bengals, especially with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins over there. Jamar Chase can definitely get over the top.
Well, I was thinking of another Giants quarterback.
Winston.
What's his face? Yeah, Jameson Winston would be a quarterback that I could see. You know, Winston's going to throw interceptions, but Winston can also put up huge touchdown numbers with these receivers. So maybe Jameis Winston. Mac Jones has been phenomenal with the 49ers. Well, not phenomenal, but he's been, I mean, 49ers are 3-0 and he started 2 games. Brock Purdy's supposed to be back this week. So maybe Mac Jones, maybe Zach Wilson from the Dolphins. I don't know, but I don't think anybody that they bring in is, you know, maybe Kirk Cousins is good enough to help this Bengals team out, but I still think that it's a wrap for them. There's going to be too many teams. Like I said, this team was going to have to score a lot of points, and the only quarterback that was going to be able to do that for them that's available is Joe Burrow. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Obviously, if you had Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, but those aren't realistic options.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I think they need to just try to bring in a different quarterback for the time being, because I don't think by the time Joe Burrow comes back, like you said, it's probably going to be too late, and you're not going to sit there and put him in for the last 3 or 4 games just to worry about him getting re-injured again. You would obviously sit him till the next season. So I agree with that.
And, you know, everybody talks about the Miami Dolphins moving on from Tua Tagovailoa because of injury. When does that become a possibility for the Cincinnati Bengals? Because Joe Burrow has missed a lot of time. And I understand that Joe Burrow and Tua aren't the same. Joe Burrow, obviously, when he's on the field, is one of the top quarterbacks in the league. But the problem is he does not stay on the field.
Right.
JD says the Bengals aren't trading for a quarterback. Well, I mean, if they want to compete this year, I think that's the only realistic option for them.
Agreed. Wilson's experiment is over. Giants will be starting Jackson Dart this week, week 4.
I don't think that's an overreaction, to be honest. They kept panning over to him last night. I thought there was a chance that he was going to come in last night and take over for Russ. You know, everybody was talking about that game against the Cowboys. Russ Wilson, 450 yards, 3 touchdowns and an interception, 123 passer rating. Those numbers are great. You know what I mean? But let's not, you know what I mean? You can put a dress on a pig, but that don't make it any less of a pig. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. They took away his superpower. They ran double high safety all night long, and Every time he went deep, it was a pick. Like, it was underthrown. It wasn't where it was supposed to be, and he was thrown into double and triple coverage all night. So that just all you got to do is take that away from Russ, and Russ is already going to take sacks even if you don't leave that open. So you add that up, and to take the deep ball away, what's Russ good for? I mean,
well, if you take away the Cowboys game, the 2 games, if you minus the Cowboys game in 2 games, he has 328 yards passing, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a 51.55 passer rating. That's if you take away the Cowboys game. So
wow.
He's been horrible. He's been,
Yeah.
That is terrible. That is
Yeah,
freaking
that is.
terrible. So, I mean,
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
that's
What up,
awesome.
Cap? What up? You gonna say some trade offers? Listen, I don't want to talk to you about no trade offer. You traded Saquon Barkley away. That's what I wanted.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, I think Jackson Dart gives this team the best opportunity to win. You know, I told you that I felt like they should hold off just because they got a rough schedule coming up. But if they want to compete and really compete this year and give themselves the best opportunity, Jackson Dart's your man. So
yeah,
I think
I'm mad.
I think Brian Dable's feeling the pressure. You know what I mean? He knows the writing's on the wall. He doesn't have next year, so he's got to make it work now. So he's probably more likely to try to, hurry up, help me, save my job, kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think Marriage did the wrong thing last year. He should have got rid of everybody. Should have got rid of the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, the GM, and he should have got rid of Daboll. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing the play calling. I'm not seeing the defensive play call. The defense, probably the best game we've had in the 3 games was this weekend. But at the same time, I still think we could have did better. I still think it could have been better, and I still think it should be better. I don't have faith in the coaching staff. I don't have faith in ownership doing the right thing for the team, because what Merritt did is he took the lazy way out. Instead of getting rid of these guys, bringing in a new coach and letting them deal with the draft. I'm happy with who we got in the draft. Like, I'm happy with our draft 100%. I never had an issue with Joe Schoen doing our drafts and being a part of that, because he does a good job. But it always comes down to we don't put the right things together. And I think it comes down to coaching. It's all coaching. And I'm just sick of it. Like, you can only try to make excuses and sit there and believe in something for so long. And you know what? Daniel Jones is gone. And that's one thing about Daboll is I feel like he never takes any responsibility, and they go, oh, well, we're having a bad year because of Daniel Jones, our quarterback. We got a quarterback problem. And it's always the same thing, the same excuses. And I'm just really disappointed. I really think John Mara should have blew up that whole coaching staff and everything last year. And he did the weak thing. Because it is harder to go back into interviews for coaching and all that. And I understand that. But he took the bitch way out, and I'm not very happy about it. And I think, honestly, this next week there better be fucking planes flying over that stadium and telling them they want change, because you could hear it. The crowd was happy when Jackson Dart came in, and then when they brought him back out and Russ was going back in, they were booing. Like, at some point, something's got to give, because this isn't the first year that the Mara and the family and the owners have heard this from the fans. It's every year, the last 4 or 5 years, except for 22 when we went to the playoffs. But it's just, you get the boos, and how more disappointing can it be? Your first home game, you got Kansas City coming in, who can't seem to do anything right. Our defense played pretty decent against them, and honestly, we shot ourselves in the foot. We were in the red zone multiple times. We were down there. And then not to mention, 15 minutes before the game, I'm watching the show. I didn't even get an alert or nothing. All of a sudden, they're just like, oh, yeah, Gano's pulled a groin. So now we got a fucking left-footed punter coming in to try to kick a extra point. And, wow, that was horrible. It's just like this team this coaching, the way that they set everything up, I just don't ever think they're prepared. I really don't. I don't think the coaches and the coaching staff does their due diligence. Like, we shouldn't have this problem. How do we not have some sort of backup kicker of some sort? And Gano just got a $5 million 2-year deal or whatever, and he's already 38 years old. We had an issue with him last year getting injured. Like, it's obviously a problem. And here we are, week 3, going into our biggest home opener, just because this would put us at 1-2, and we'd get to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That would give us all this momentum, a good pump up for a positive side. And no, we don't even have a kicker that can kick. So we're worried about that. And and then Tracy, he took a smack on the sideline. I think he's out. Got hit in the shoulder, but the one highlight of last night was really Cam Skattebo. Like, he looked amazing. Andrew Thomas was in. They had him on a play count on 25, I think 25 plays, and he didn't even play the last drive of the first half, which, I mean, that's pretty important. Like, okay, are you that set up on a 25 play count for somebody? Like, this is football. Like, at least could have finished the half and I would have been happy. At least finish the half. Like, is it really going to matter if he takes 5 or 6 more snaps? Is pulling him out at exactly 25 going to be any different than pulling him out at 35? Or, if he's on the sideline, he says, hey, coach, I'm really feeling it. It's starting to hurt or whatever. I'm starting to ache, whatever. That's a little different. But he was over there smiling, talking with people. And when he was in there, our run game was going. Everything was looking good. Without Andrew Thomas on that left side, it's a big difference for the offensive line, for the run block. And I don't know. Like, that's another decision. Unless Andrew Thomas was hurt or feeling like he was hurt or was making it worse, I think that is the dumbest thing they could have did. It's like they never play the players they should play when it counts. It's end of the games, end of the halves, when you're trying to stop the points or put points on the board. We don't have the people that should be out there out in the field, and it gets old. It's old. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more general manager. Maybe Dable should take more responsibility for things, but you see in Daniel Jones have success over there with Indy, and it's been an issue with them getting the right players along that offensive line. And I think if you had a good offensive line, this team would be considerably better.
Yeah. And the thing is we just can't put things together. Like,
you're breaking
offense
up.
plays better. Are we good? But I mean, that's my rant about the Giants. It was a rough. Still breaking up?
Yeah, a little bit.
It was a rough game to watch. End of story. It was terrible. I was happy with the defense, but watching Russ just have the day he was having and not seeing Jackson Dart come in after halftime, very disappointed. They're very disappointed, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pissed. I just wanted to break shit. I was in a bad mood watching that game. That's all. That's all I got. That's my Giants rant for the day.
I'm definitely I wanted Cam Skattebo a lot. That kid runs with he just runs with anger and intention to hurt people. You know what I mean? He's like a bowling ball, bro.
Yeah. He
So
does. I love it.
Get a lot. I think he's gonna have a really nice. I don't know if it's a long career, but I think he's gonna have a nice a giant favorite for a long time. You know what I mean?
Overreaction, Giants versus Dolphins in the Super Bowl.
That is not an overreaction. That is listen, where do I bet on that one? Because that is likely to happen.
Sometime
in the course of infinity years. But yeah, we'll do a fantasy show soon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. That's all I got for you today.
All right, let's grab a quick pick. People are going to be tuning into Monday Night Football. Who do you like tonight and why?
I got the Ravens. I don't know, though. Detroit, man, they could put up the points. I honestly think the Ravens have a better all-around team. I think Derrick Henry gets it going tonight, has a bigger game than he did last week. I just think I just like the Ravens. I like the Ravens over Detroit. I don't want the Detroit to do good. I don't. I wanted them to do good last year, and it just didn't work out that way. So I got.
I think. Go ahead.
I got the Ravens. What's
the score?
That's it.
Score.
We did the scores. 35-31.
Oh.
And you got them at 38-35.
Oh, I thought we already picked. I didn't think we had already picked. I'd be forgetting. For some reason, I think that I see the Lions as more of a finesse team, and I don't know if that's fair. You know what I mean? Just when I think of the Baltimore Ravens, I think of a smash mouth team more so than the Lions. But
right.
Listen, this game could go either way. I do think it's going to be a great football game. This might be a Super Bowl preview. I'm excited to see it. I had picked the Ravens too.
Yeah, you picked. You got them at 38-35. I had them at 35-31.
Yeah, the Ravens are at home, so I think that benefits the Ravens. Obviously, I think that the Detroit Lions offense just runs better in the dome inside. But who knows? Who knows? This one could go either way. Get your popcorn ready. I think it's going to be a good one. But that's all I got. We'll see y'all later. Thank you all for tuning in. Again, I'm sorry about if you have an issue with me blocking Michael K, but I do this for fun and he makes it unfun for me. And he can go around say pussy podcast, whatever he
pussy
got.
Podcast. Yeah.
Yeah, but again, I was up in Buffalo and he didn't want to come see pussy podcast, Finn pussy podcast. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going back to Buffalo real soon.
And he's done that. He's done that shit for a while. So it's like, and I never say anything, but it's starting to bother me. And usually I don't even give a shit. So first thing
also,
I'm saying
has
at
anybody?
The beginning of the show, yeah, go ahead.
Has anybody seen Bonnie? I hope she's all right. It'll make me sad that if she don't just watch the show anymore. But Bonnie, if you see this, or if anybody sees Bonnie in any other group, tell her Big C worried about her. You know what I mean? If she don't want to tune in anymore, that's cool. But I just want to make sure she's all good and all right. But yeah, I haven't seen Bonnie in the comments lately. I hope she's not mad because I kind of jumped off the Tua train. Yeah. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow morning for an episode of the Finn Posse podcast. Well, we'll talk about them no good stinking freaking Jets and our Monday night matchup next week. But until then, you know what it is. Finn's up for
Pray for the Dolphins. Pray for the Giants. Pray for us both. Hallelujah.
And we'll see y'all later. Peace.
Big C and Mike Jones, they call the plays in the zone. Spit facts, no cap, straight to the bone. Gritter, roaring gossip, the field's their home. Huddle up, press play, you're never alone. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this is the spot. NFL drama, they break it down surgical. Draft day whispers, moves so tactical. Receiver stretching arms, catches vertical. Big C's laugh hitting, vibes so magical. Mike Jones got stats like a human playbook. Big C's insight sharper than a no look. Halftime debates, better than they should. You fumble the podcast, now you misunderstood. Flags fly, refs blind, penalty stack. They calling out the calls, no sugar, just facts. Fantasy picks, who's carrying the pack? Every week they hit harder than a linebacker smack. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From kickoffs to OT, they never forgot. Tune into the squad, this the spot. Sunday sermons, but the church is turf. From Lambeau chills to Miami surf. Quarterback questions, they dissect the worth. Dropping gems like they mine the earth. Laces out, the mic stays hot. Breaking down the game, every yard, every plot. From